Welcome everyone, it's Lark, and I'm super excited to have back on the channel today, Flori from Blockfi. Flori, how's it going?
It's going great. Nice fall day here in New York. How are you?
Nice, doing great, doing great. Well, we're going to be breaking down what BlockFi is today, so I'm really excited to have you back on the channel. Obviously, so much has happened since the last time we've talked. Feels like the world's gone crazy, but the crypto markets have also gone crazy in a positive sense. So we have a lot to break down with what's going on with BlockFi and some of the new things that you guys are looking at doing. But before we do jump into those questions, I just want to do a quick announcement for everyone. So for the next 2 days, you can get up to $250 bonus for making a deposit at BlockFi. Now, if this is your first time signing up for an account, you're eligible for this. There'll be a link down below in the description. So there's some terms and conditions for that, so make sure you read through those. But you can get up to $250 bonus in crypto. So it's a super awesome deal. If you've been thinking about trying out BlockFi, trying out the service, earning some passive income, it's a great way to get involved for a new account sign up. And also, there's going to be a super interesting virtual conference coming up on the 25th. Now, there's going to be some really big players involved here. We got Robert Kiyosaki. We have Chamath Palihapitiya, of course, the very famous founder of Social Capital. We have Mike Novogratz, Raoul Pal, some real big hitters. And of course, the team from BlockFi is also going to be there. So I'll leave a link down there as well. It's a free event. It's a free virtual event from some of the biggest names in the industry. So if you want some great educational material, definitely check that out. Now, with that being said, Flori, in case anyone doesn't know what you guys are doing at BlockFi, can you just tell us the real short version of what is BlockFi and how it works?
Yeah, of course. So we're a wealth management platform, and I think our coolest product is the ability to earn passive income, as you said, or interest on different types of deposits. So our biggest product is the interest account, and you can deposit stablecoin and crypto and earn up to 8.6 APY in interest on a monthly basis, and it's absolutely awesome. We actually just redid our entire website, and there's an awesome tool on there now where you can actually put in any amount that you would deposit with us and the amount of time, and it'll calculate for you how much interest you could earn by depositing with us. So like, for example, if you were to deposit $10,000 in 24 months, you would get over $1,700 in interest. So it's absolutely awesome. I love it. Our second product is trading. So you can deposit with us and trade in and out of any crypto that we offer on the platform. And the last product is loans backed by your crypto. So you can borrow US dollars backed by Bitcoin, Ethereum, Pax, Litecoin, a lot of different options there. And today we were just talking about how crazy it is, 250 employees around the world. We have over 1.5 billion in assets under management. It's been insane to manage this company over the last 6 months. Like you said, crypto has been wild, and there's been a lot of growth everywhere. So it's a very exciting time for us.
Yeah, we've of course been talking about BlockFi on the channel for quite a while now, and obviously, everyone who's been using it's just loving getting that passive income every month. You get your statement, it's like, oh great, how much should I make this month? It's really exciting. You look forward to the first day of the month because it's, oh great, the passive income is coming. This is so exciting. And of course, it's not just earning on stable coins, but of course you can earn on Bitcoin and Ethereum and a few other assets as well. So it's a very, very great way to be getting that income coming in. And of course, the loans are also a very, very valuable tool. But we're going to talk more about that in a minute. But I wanted to ask you, one of the big conversations in crypto this year has been around institutional players coming into crypto. Obviously, we've seen some very famous cases with like MicroStrategy coming in and big investors like Paul Tudor Jones saying, hey, I'm getting into crypto now, getting into Bitcoin. But from your side, are you seeing a lot of institutional interest, or are you mostly seeing retail investors coming in, or is it a pretty solid mix of the both?
Yeah, BlockFi is a really interesting business in crypto because you're one of the only companies that has a retail side of the platform and an institutional side. So the way that we generate yield is we take the deposits that we were just talking about and we lend it out to institutional investors. And in addition, we're VC funded. So we've been raising capital from traditional investors for over 3 years now, which has been interesting. Over the last 6 months, we've definitely seen more and more traditional investors getting comfortable in the space. And I think that that recent price upswing definitely garners some attention. On the institutional side of the business, we have actually tripled our revenues in the last 6 months. So the amount that people have borrowed has gone up by 3x in just 6 months. And that's an insane amount. And I think a testament to just more players moving into the market. We also launched our Singapore and London offices through the pandemic period. It was all remote, so from people's apartments. We do have a space now, but so I think getting additional institutions from overseas definitely helped generate that revenue. But it's been crazy to see, people that historically said that they would never invest in crypto or they wouldn't touch the asset now moving into the space.
Yeah, well, I mean, some of the most famous people were previous haters. I mean, Michael Saylor of MicroStrategy, he bought nearly $500 million of Bitcoin, but back in 2013, Bitcoin, it's bad stuff, And George Ball, the ex CEO of Prudential, he also was a former Bitcoin hater, now turned into a Bitcoin advocate, incredibly surprisingly. So it's really interesting to see all of this big money kind of circling back around to get into cryptocurrencies. It's very, very exciting.
Yeah, one thing that was a little bit interesting to see back in March with all the volatility was this sub-theme, which I don't know if you can really prove out, but when people don't know what's going to happen in their own economies, there's this theory that, Bitcoin might be a safer asset to move into because it's globally traded and it's not necessarily linked to any one stock market. So I don't know how that's going to play out over the next few years, but I wonder if that's part of the reason why some people are starting to look at it now.
Yeah, you certainly see. I mean, some of the big macro investors, they've even stated, these kind of reasons to get away from central banks and all this stuff. So it's super interesting to see what's going on. I want to talk a little bit about BlockFi's security. I think this is one of the most common questions that I get when I mention BlockFi is, well, how secure is it? And what are the security measures that are in place to keep my crypto safe? Obviously, it's one of the most pertinent questions for people when they do make a deposit into BlockFi. So you can go through a little bit of the security measures that are in place that are keeping people's crypto safe with BlockFi.
Yeah, so on the retail side, we encourage every single person that uses our application to turn on two-factor authentication. And also you have the option of adding whitelisted wallet addresses. A whitelisted or allow listed wallet address is you get to set a certain amount of addresses where your crypto can go out to. And if anyone tries to make any changes to those addresses, your account is locked from withdrawing for 7 days. So on the retail side, those are the two biggest ways to secure your funds. On the BlockFi end of things, over the last 3 months, we actually brought on Adam Healy as a chief security officer. And he formerly was at Bakkt and Microsoft and worked for the US government for some time. And this guy is the heavyweight of security. I would do our security efforts a disservice if I tried to explain the 7 initiatives that he's bringing to our team. But actually, Zach my co-founder, hosted a BlockFi Live with him, and it's 35 minutes of Adam doing a deep dive on security, his background, what he sees for the future of BlockFi. I think even before Adam was here, one thing to note is that we've always structured our company in a way that makes it extremely difficult to move any client funds without various parties in place. So throughout our entire history, we've never lost crypto, and we have never had a loss on any of our loans. So to date, we've been very fortunate to have that happen. And Adam has brought on an excellent team to continue to make sure that we have best-in-class security.
Nice. And of course, you guys are working with Gemini custody as well for the assets too. So I think that just adds a whole other layer in terms of, I think, brand awareness for people, because obviously Gemini is a very strong brand, and their security is institutional grade. So it's top tier stuff.
Yeah, I think when people are looking at different companies to invest in or put assets in, one of the things that I think is really important is to look at how companies are regulated, right? Because I can say anything on a podcast, right? But really what matters is who are the outside parties that are looking at how these companies are run? And are they doing the things that they're saying that they're doing to their investors and to their customers? So looking at Blockfi or Gemini and companies that have licenses and investors, what that means for a retail client is that every 6 months, every year, we get audited by those states in which we have licenses. And they look at everything that we do and how we are run, all of our security measures, how we handle client funds, all of our compliance procedures, all of our security procedures, and they ensure that they're in line with industry standards. So I think that's really important as you're thinking about where to put your money. You know, how are these companies licensed? And specifically the investor side that I'm not sure a lot of people understand is each time a company raises a round of capital, the outside investors bring their own attorneys and they go through every single thing we have ever built. They go through every single document, every contract. They run through the platform. So it serves as an additional external audit on top of everything else that we do.
It's so important to have companies like Blockfi really staking a strong claim in this space because we've seen so much Wild West stuff happening. And obviously it's resulted in lots of lost trust, lost funds, and all kinds of other craziness. So to see these companies like Blockfi really coming in and saying, hey, you know, we're taking the serious route, we're getting regulated, we're making sure that we're ticking all the boxes here. I think that's a really important thing, again, for people's trust in the company.
Yeah, for sure. And it's a lot of hard work, and we have a lot of people on our teams working to make sure that all of that is in order.
Now, one thing I've seen come up quite a bit in the questions is when will we see ACH transfers for cheaper transactions to get money in and out of BlockFi?
Yeah, so I think a couple of our users probably already know the inside scoop that ACH is live in beta currently.
Nice.
I'm super excited. My team was actually in charge of building the product. And, you know, it'll be amazing when people can create a BlockFi account, log in, and instead of doing what they do now, which is send us a wire, which can be a little bit tedious. And, you know, I work with, you know, a bank and they have to call me to verify the wire each time I'm trying to send funds. ACH will allow people to just connect their bank online and then, you know, put like $50 in every single Friday, reoccurring without you having to think about it, which will be amazing and a lot cheaper. So hopefully we're aiming to make sure that that can go live at least to a broader audience by the end of this year. The tricky thing about ACH is that it's a whole different level of risk, as some people in crypto know. And so what we're doing, like everything else that we do, is make sure that we're testing the system, that we understand how it works, and make sure that it's squeaky clean before we let our, you know, hundreds of thousands of users have access to it.
Nice, nice. I think it's going to be a really exciting thing to get in because that just kind of simple recurring deposit. It makes automating, of course, you know, buying your crypto super easy, but it takes it to a whole nother level because when you send $50 to Coinbase, you just get some $50 for the Bitcoin and it doesn't get you any more Bitcoin. When you send $50 to BlockFi and buy Bitcoin, well, then all of a sudden you're earning 6% interest on that Bitcoin. So it's a totally different dynamic because you can save with these interest accounts, which is, you know, so it's great to see the cheap transfers coming through. Now,
yeah, and you could do it in like a ton of different ways because we have the flex option. So like hopefully 6 months from now, you can link your bank account, do a $50 ACH that automatically purchases you Bitcoin, and then you can earn your interest in dollars in case you don't want extra Bitcoin exposure, our flex option, which is live now. So it would be awesome to be able to put those three together.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always promoting the flex pay idea because it's, you know, you can flip it around too. Like, oh, you may be like, oh, well, you know, I got to keep my cash just in case, but I'd like to get some Bitcoin exposure. So you can get the cash, put it in, get the Bitcoin paid out interest. So it's flexible, which is, of course, a great idea for payouts. Now, I want to talk about your most recent asset. Speaking of, you know, getting interest, is actually that you guys have added Paxos Gold, so you can now earn 4% interest on Paxos Gold deposits. So, can you talk a little bit about that? And will the 4% rates, you know, be for some time moving forward? Is that kind of just a promotional offer?
Yeah, so the way that we set our interest rates is we look at the demand from institutional investors to borrow the assets that we have on the platform, and then we create an average interest rate and we pass that along to our clients. So 4% is what we see right now for Pax. As we see demand increase or decrease based on institutional investors, just like any other asset, the interest rate will go up and go down depending on what institutional investors have in demand right now. We added it to the platform because we want to be the place that allows the largest amount of assets for trading. We think that that is an amazing client experience if you can access everything that you want to buy and sell in one place. And so in terms of this year, I think we're probably set launching new assets through the end of 2021. We have a lot of stuff to build before the end of the year. But hopefully next year we'll have some really good news in terms of adding even more assets to the platform. And we're always looking out to see, what do our clients want, really listening to what we hear in terms of feedback, and make decisions based off of that.
Nice, nice. I was definitely very excited to see gold added because obviously gold is such a big asset. I mean, it's hard to get the exact market cap, like $9 to $10 trillion market cap. Obviously, it's massive with the institutional and the macro investor crowd. So to give them that easy option to get into gold and then of course earn interest on the gold, I think it's a big dynamic change for a lot of these, for retail and for institutional investors, because instead of having to pay to keep your gold somewhere, you're paid to keep your gold somewhere. So that's a big difference.
That makes a lot more sense to me, right? If we're holding your gold for you, we should be paying you for it. And especially now with there so much uncertainty in the world, like there tends to be, the flight to quality, right? So you move out of equities and into things that provide more stability like gold. So we're really excited to provide that option to our clients.
How does BlockFi, I guess, stay competitive in the current market? Because we see some of the competitors, they've got from time to time better rates for stable coins. We see, of course, DeFi, which can have some pretty stupid high rates from time to time. So can you speak about that?
Yeah. So again, kind of going back to what I was talking about earlier, when you're thinking about how to invest your assets, it's really important to understand the business model and what companies are doing to generate those yields. So when we look at different rates that are being paid out by stablecoin, a couple of things to note is sometimes when you're earning interest in a DeFi platform, sometimes the interest is paid out in a token instead of in the asset that you're depositing. And so that's a little bit of a different value proposition than, with us, if you send us a wire for USD, you're going to be earning interest in stablecoin. And then when you want to withdraw, you're getting that in cash directly to your bank account. So a little bit of a different value proposition. And I also think that interest rates are a reflection of the riskiness of the platform, right? And so these types of accounts are not like a bank account, right? They're not FDIC insured, right? And so you really need to understand the risk of the company and how it's structured and the team to know that you'll be able to get your assets out when you want to withdraw. So sometimes when I see a really high interest rate, to me, that's a little bit of a red flag, which makes me wonder, why does this company have to pay such a high interest rate to get users to use the product? And at the same time, kind of thinking about risk allocation, I also think that this is like investing, that clients shouldn't put all their eggs in one basket, right? And so if there's different values offered from different platforms, I think, as a society, we're moving away from a one bank model, right? 15 years ago, you had your local credit union that you went to and your pal Joe each time that you needed to open a credit card or take out a home loan, right? And it was really driven by that banking relationship. Today, banking services, everything is available on your mobile phone, right? And so what that means to me is that people are diversifying where they keep their assets, right? You're not keeping everything in Chase or Bank of America. And so I would think about DeFi platforms and the BlockFi value proposition the same way, which is think about your risk tolerance, think about the company. Do you understand the business model? Do you understand the risks? And then allocate your savings in line with your risk tolerance.
That's it. And I think there's, especially when looking at DeFi, there's a lot of risks that people don't even understand that they're getting into. They just see, I can earn a rate, and without actually understanding the risks in those. And I can speak from what I do personally. I do use some DeFi platforms, but I'll tell you this, it's the overall minority of my funds because there are smart contract risks, and we've seen a lot of big exploits in DeFi this year with smart contract risks, and there's also the risk of impermanent loss, which a lot of people don't even understand. They try to provide liquidity, and then they end up with less of everything. But I was earning a high percentage, but you have no money now. So it's a tricky game. You have to understand these risks.
Yeah, for sure. And the way that I think one difference is the way that our interest rates work is that we set them on a monthly basis. So if you deposit August 1st, you know that you're going to get that interest rate through the end of the month. And once it gets paid out, you can remove it from your BlockFi interest account. And there really is no volatility intra-month. So I like that stability. I'm more type A. I like knowing exactly what I'm going to get at a period in time. So that works for me.
Yep. Safe, stable, reliable. It's important because I think what we've seen, a lot of these DeFi players, okay, you get 1,000% for 3 hours, and then it's down to 40%. It's that's on a yearly basis, right? So the rates are unsustainable, and that's again, people I think don't understand those risk factors and the unsustainability of a lot of these rates. Now I want to talk about what's coming next for BlockFi. Obviously, we do have the ACH transfers coming, which is going to be very exciting. There will be some new assets coming at some point in the future, but the debit card, or I guess actually it's a credit card, right? This is actually something that's super exciting that you guys are going to be releasing. So can you speak about that?
Yeah, and I think you actually hit a good point, which is it's not a debit card, it's a credit card. And the difference between the two is there's some products like this that exist out there, a debit card, and a debit card allows you to spend crypto to buy purchases. Our product is a credit card, which means you're just spending dollars or your currency, depending on the country that you're in. And instead of earning Chase Sapphire points or airline miles, you earn Bitcoin as a reward. So I'm super excited about it. I think it's amazing for a lot of reasons. So one of our goals as a company, kind of going back to the traditional investors conversation, is to build the bridge between traditional finance and crypto. And so one part of what we do is to serve this extremely exciting like crypto native audience. But the other part of what we do is getting people like your grandparents or people who have never invested in crypto to become comfortable with the space. And the really exciting thing about the credit card is that a lot of people are not, they don't like the idea of taking their own cash and savings and putting it into Bitcoin. That makes them feel uncomfortable. However, I think a lot of people will think it's really interesting to give up your airline points to earn Bitcoin instead. And the awesome thing about that is that we're going to be one of the first credit cards to offer you an asset that can accrue in value over time. One thing that really annoys me about credit card points is that they're all geared towards consumer spending, right? Spend money so that you can spend more and get like Amazon points or hotel points and so you can spend more to go travel, right? This will be the first reward of its kind that encourages you to save and to actually accrue the assets that you have. So it's super exciting. We're working really hard on it. I have the inside scoop, and I've been seeing some really awesome credit card designs that our creative director has been putting together, and it's pretty sleek. I can't wait to like throw it down. Well, nice. In a world where other people can see a credit card, which is not the COVID world. But at some point, if I can go out to dinner with my friends again to throw down the crypto rewards credit card, have people be like, whoa, what's that? But yeah, we're very excited, and hopefully it'll be out in the coming months, and we're working really hard to get that out there.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I would assume, obviously, that the card would link to your BlockFi account, so your Bitcoin rewards be paid out into your BlockFi account at that point. So that's like next level stuff. So every time you swipe your card, you're getting this Bitcoin back, and then you're earning interest on the Bitcoin in your BlockFi account.
Exactly. And then whenever, if at any point in time you're like, actually, like, I don't really want all of this in Bitcoin, you could like trade it into stablecoin, take it out to your bank account, and then like purchase if that's what you want to do, or even pay down your credit card. So it gives people so much flexibility, and the added bonus of just earning an amazing interest rate on all of your rewards.
Awesome. That's incredibly exciting. Well, Flori, I think we've covered a fantastic range of information here today. So thank you so much for coming on and kind of giving us all the latest updates for what BlockFi is doing. So thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. It was awesome.
Thank you.